Welcome to all the guests who are just joining us. This is your host, Vance here. That's right. We are back every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Just a little secret at the back of the stage while, we are going live. I was eating these, some Deepavali goodies, just to add in some calories. Okay. On a serious note, today we're having a great speaker. I got to say, it's such a motivational and inspirational speaker. He's going to come in anytime from now. But today's topic is all about Challenge Your Summit. And it is a great pleasure of mine and Kopi With Vans to invite him to come on board and give his experiences that he went through over the years. So, without any further ado, let me invite Sir Ravi. Hello, how are you, sir?
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
good, very good. Thank you.
Thank you for joining in. I know you had a very busy training schedule for today. I know you just rushed back and quickly had your dinner, and now you are with us at Kopi With Vans. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Honor to be invited to join you. Okay.
Thank you, Ravi. Ravi, before we even get started, I know you are a popular figure in Malaysia. For the Singapore guests, probably you want to do a quick introduction, and then we can dive into today's topic.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ravi. Full name is Ravichandran Tharumalingam. People call me Ravi Everest. My page is Ravichandran Everest, where I climb mountains for the past 22 years. Done 8 peaks above 8,000 meter, including 3 times on Everest, once on K2 recently, and few other 8,000, including Manaslu, Choyu, Shishapangma, and so on. And I've done most of the 7 summit except for Vincent Massif and Caston, which are 2 very expensive 7 summit. And then I'm also a guide for all some of the 7 summit, and of course most of the Himalaya mountains up to 7,000 meter. And this year I had the honor to guide people to to the summit of Mount Everest. Yeah? So that's me. That's what I do. And for the past 5 to 6 years, I've been also spending a lot of time inspiring people all around the world. So that has been my latest passion, sharing, touching people in many ways, inspiring them, bringing them from one level to another level. That's what me and that's what I do, and it's an honor to be here.
Thank you, Ravi sir. Great introduction of yourself. Today's topic, of course, we are going to talk a lot of stuff about Everest because Everest and you have some kind of a relationship. So we're going to find out what is the real relationship. I know Even in Malaysia, you have spoken in a lot of places, and even Raga. I heard your interviews. It's very inspirational. So thank you so much for giving this interview and podcast as well, so that more people can know about this sport for love. Like hobby. We're gonna find out from you. What is all about this. But I'm gonna start up with your passion, right? In the first place, how you got the love for climbing?
Well, it was being a sportman. Our life is what do you call yeah, involved with sports and challenge. It's about being competitive. I used to be running for schools, state level, and then also hockey player. But my most I'm very passionate about football, soccer, and being in sport gives you the some of the characters of facing challenges. Every day is about taking challenges. But then when you come across 30 plus, you'll see that there is a slowdown in opportunity for you to compete, especially with the younger generation being very active, very aggressive, and so on. So you tend people try to exclude you in most of the competitive activities. Then you'll find that life become very boring and so on. So then after that you start looking for new challenges, and that's where when I went for my first visit. Even though I've been close to nature from small, because my background, the place I stay is all beside the jungle and so on, and also close to nature in terms of hiking, climbing, and so on. But I never thought that I'm going to seriously go into mountaineering. All right. Now, but at age 35, I was looking for something new, something that gives me lots of satisfaction. So that's when my first visit to the Himalayas, and I fall in love with the way the people, hike, climb, their passion in talking about these mountains and so on. So I really fall in love with that. So I never stop going there, and every time I go there, bit by bit, I get into the same characters. I use the same characters to take up more bigger challenges. Bit by bit, from 35, you start building your interests, your knowledge, your technical skill, and go very seriously into climbing. Yeah, so that's how the thing started. So it was due to change of passion
Yeah.
with the same characters from childhood days of taking challenges in life. I moved from one sport to another sport, from a group sport into an individual sport. So that's where I started my climbing, solo climber, climbing Everest solo, and so on. That's how the whole thing started. Yeah.
So it,
So
it all started with probably a kind of a hobby, when you are young, and then suddenly you notice that you tend to be more with nature, because we saw some of your amazing pictures while you brought your clients and groups when you are climbing. It's very inspirational, and I also see such lovely mountains which you can't get, cities, or even if you sometimes go some trekking you can't see. But those pictures you shared was tremendously beautiful. Thank you, Ravi, for that.
and
um yeah.
I mean, just to add on,
Yes.
after you've been there many times, you still find it very interesting. That's what mountain is all about. It changes every now and then. So the passion will never stop. So that's the reason why we have up to 85 years old
Right.
summiting Everest. Right? Go ahead.
And along with that, any sport that you do, even I'm as a fitness instructor for the past 22 years. Even in the gym, also so many accidents happens. We do know we're going to talk about the dead zone and kind of stuff. I mean, viewers probably will be figuring out what is dead zone. But just to give a quick information to all our viewers, in the dead zone and higher, no human body can acclimatize. The body uses and store oxygen faster so that it can be replenished. But at that point of time, which is about 26,000 feet, everything start to collapse, and your thinking, your cognitive, everything just get a bit looser. But along that line, of course, we're going to ask Ravi for all of that. What was your most dangerous mountain, Ravi, and why?
Well, I when first Everest was really in year 2006, that was on the north side, which is Tibet. And at that time, the Chinese government who was controlling Tibet at that time, they are not providing much facility compared to the Nepal government on the south face of Everest. So we had a very difficult and mountain, and also the climbing expedition was quite tough. So I thought that was a big challenge for me. But then going through that mountain, I realized that there's so many dangers attached to this mountain. Every step, it is dangerous. So then we had few setbacks on first year itself. I had few setbacks. Um, I lost 8 fingers on Everest on the North Face. Losing friend, I have to leave them behind. Um, we solo climbers, we always gather together and we share the permit. And then when you're sharing the permit, you tend to get close. You tend to share all your resources and you start bonding because we are all solo climbers. When solo climbers, not many people are interested in solo climbers because our resources are very limited. Sometimes we depend on third parties, being compassionate and sharing and so on. So due to that, not many people, most of the big teams, they will isolate us and so on. So we do feel a bit discriminated from time to time being there and so on. So we feel very small and so on. So that's the reason why all these solo climbers sometimes they gather
Mhm.
together just to feel that way we have a buddy next to us and we feel good and so on. And leaving them behind on the way to the summit was one of the toughest thing. I think it was much more tougher than losing my fingers and so on. So I would say Everest 206 was a tough mountain, very dangerous and so on. But then when I went to the south side in the following year, 207, I realized that it's equally same challenges, on both sides. And then, of course, on the north side, you have different danger. On the south side, you have the Kumbu icefall to cross and so on. So I would say that that part of that mountain is also quite dangerous. And so all these mountains, when I cross every 8,000-meter peak, I realize that every mountain have their danger zone, especially above 8,000 meter, where our body are all almost dying. We have lack of oxygen, giving us very poor coordination, the ability to think, ability to move at the normal pace. So every step is a very difficult step. And every time we depend on our oxygen, we're pulling in oxygen into our body, we can realize how small we are in this world when we're dealing with Mother Nature. And it makes you a better person every time you cross this dangerous mountain. So to me, most of the 8,000-meter are dangerous. And after crossing all these things, including Shisha Pangma, 2 times on Manaslu, the last one this year I did the Everest third one and K2 next to each other, in 72 days. And I realized K2 is the mother of all dangerous mountain. And because I've been there 3 times on Everest, I realized that once you know the danger that you are associated, especially with the expedition, you feel more relaxed. But then when you go across a new mountain with a new trail where you have never been, is totally a different game, and you can see the danger aspects in the whole journey. And I would say the most dangerous mountain that I've been to is K2, and coming back alive uh, after finishing Everest with poor recovery of 2 weeks recovery only, then going back to K2 and reaching the summit and coming back. I would say that was a very tough two mountains in 72 days. I will never forget the crying, the tears that I have to take in every step that I was making towards K2 summit. So I would say K2 is the most dangerous. Is due to the structure itself, the mountain itself, the weather changes very extreme, and of course it was something new for me. new dangers like rock fall. First time I was facing rock fall at a speed of 200 kilometers per hour. That was tough. And I can only figure out the sound, zzz. It's like, moving so fast, a small rock, and looking at people getting injured, being sent back to the hospital and so on, just because of a small rock fall and so on. It was very difficult. And we lost three life on that K2. Looking at fresh body along the trail, and a very old body being kept there. Never, nobody have the courtesy to bring it down, and crossing them, going to the summit, Mount K2, and coming back. That was a bit. And I would say K2 is still the worst, still the most dangerous. And if but if you're going back there again second round on
Yeah.
K2, I'll be more relaxed, and I'll find that it's much more easier. So any mountain 8,000 meter that I'm going to do is going to be difficult, especially next year. We are looking at Dhaulagiri. We're also looking at Nanga Parbat. So I would say these are the two more new peaks that I'm looking at, 8,000 meter peaks. And I expect them to be also equally tough, like what the experience that I had on K2. Right?
Thanks, Ravi, for going through all this with us. But it is said that at 26,000 feet, the dead zone. So I know you talked about it, but how is it? Bringing your oxygen tank, and if something fails, so many things can go wrong. But with your trainings, with your preparations, you guys are all be ready. But what if something goes wrong? I mean, are you prepared for that? I mean, I know you in one of your interviews when I heard it was so inspiration that you keep on going that you didn't even feel anything in your hands and you just keep on going. And your focus is just to get where you need to be and nothing distraction, nothing to come and disturb you or whatever. How, I mean, that's inspirational, but what is the other part of it?
Um, Putting on oxygen and limiting your oxygen intake. Yeah, we control oxygen intake because we only have one or two bottles of 4 liter oxygen that we carry in our bag. Sometimes we engage Sherpas also to carry and drop the oxygen bottle at level 4, Chem 4, Chem 3, like that. And moving with very limited oxygen is necessary. And you can see that every step that you take, you know that your body is dying. You know that you are slowly about to die. All right, and we have a time frame to reach the summit and come back down. And the it's the dead zone is not something that easy to deal with. But when we are moving from 7,005 to 8,000 and then crossing the 8,000 part, due to the your readiness, knowing that you're going to take this challenge, you're going to dead zone. The first year was very tough because first time I'm experiencing this, and looking at my friend, leaving them behind. He is had a brain death at that moment, and he was like at the beach, and he just removed all his jacket, and he's just sitting down there. And that is the extreme that it will happen. And after I finished that 1 year, the first year, then I come to a conclusion that it can happen to anyone, can also happen to me. So I'm more prepared now. I always remind my family about this. It can happen at any time. The same thing, people going to leave me behind um, for the mistake that if I do any mistake up there at 8,000 meter, and I will be one of the other in the list of statistics of people dying up there. So we have to be well prepared for it. We have to accept the fact. That's the reason why we look for people like you to prepare us physically and get us ready. Even though we are mentally strong, but at this stage of our life, at this age, at this physical condition, we still have to go through a process of preparing ourselves physically. All right, so it's a thing that we prepare almost every year. Like now, I'm preparing for my next year, It's the same process. Physically, we prepare. Mentally, all our previous experience will guide us, will help us to perform better. But the weather, the mountain itself, they have their own other things to share with us when we are there. So that is a bit things that we always look forward to, and of course we minimize it with very good planning and so on. Yeah. So the dangers are there. The dead zone is always there, and I am well prepared. If anything happened to me, I think my family, they know, they accepted the fact that I'm into mountaineering. They expect I mean, they are well ready to face or to, if I fail on that mountain, I fail to come back home. Yeah. I can hear you.
Sorry. So there's two part of it, right? One is the mental part, and one is the physical part. So both have to be in communication at all time.
Yes.
But also, Ravi, on the same segment that we are talking about right now, we also heard that a lot of people, there's about almost 300 over people have passed on in the Everest, and especially in the 26,000 feet. And also, rescue will not be able to bring them down, right? Even if you go in a group, because that will put them in danger of the other climbers. So all climbers who are climbing Everest, so mentally they are prepared. They might not come back. And with that, with a lot of preparation that you just mentioned, that shows there's so much a humongous kind of love, a kind of a passion to the mother nature that you want to reach. It not just about conquering the mountains, but just about conquering yourself. So that is truly inspirational, Ravi, as like what you have talked about it. And when you talk about, because you are the first Malaysian to climb the K2, right? And you have already climbed Everest 3 times. I'm sure there's a lot more coming up, or you have already climbed more. But in comparison of Everest and K2, what was your experience?
Well, uh, like I said, 2006, I realized that Everest was difficult, especially on the north side, due to the lack of services and the extreme weather and poor, what we call this, service from the government itself. Yeah? On the south side, I had a good time because we have a heli rescue every now and then. Things were very comfortable. They even have bakery services up there and so on at the base camp. Yeah? So that's how exciting being on the south side. But this year, when I was on Everest, everything was so improved, so smooth, so easy. We can finish our expedition in just 45 days. I was so happy. My clients were happy. We completed. We hit fast. We were the first group to complete, the first one to submit on 12th May, and it was good. But day by day, I realized it was getting easier, knowing the fact that you have crossed that Kumbu ice fall for many times, huh? And you are well prepared for it now. And so we are more relaxed and so on. But K2 was totally different, something new. So we don't have the ice fall to deal with. And but the other danger that we have is that we're moving towards the end of the spring season. We are moving towards almost beginning of the what we call this monsoon, and we're expecting rain. We're expecting strong wind to come in and less snow, meaning many loose rocks. And being there and dealing with these loose rocks, we don't get this challenge on Everest. Yeah? Everest is fully snow and ice, or except for the yellow band area where we have some rocks and here and there. Yeah? But this one fully rocks from the what you call advanced base camp until camp 3, and that's how it was, very high risk. And um, and everybody are well preparing themselves with rock. All right, we use helmet, we push ourselves, and every time someone shouts rock, that's it, and everybody will be praying that they will never be hit by that rock, and it will pass you with that sound, like a fast moving drone sound,
Right, right.
like that. So that's
And
how,
maybe you can't run from it. You can you just hide somewhere or what?
because we are on the rope,
Right.
everybody on safety rope, so you can't move. The best you can see, move left or right, 1 feet, just jump to the left and right. That's it. Or the best is Just lie down with your, covering your head, hoping that the helmet will protect you. That's the best we do. And one small mistake, like what happened to one of our Sherpa, will really break our bones. And it's very scary, yeah. But we crossed that, and then the Camp 3 onwards is similar to Everest. Um, we have the vertical section to deal with, but the best part was the crossing wall. All right, after the bottleneck, that was really scary. We don't get this on Everest. You're talking about 300 meters of wall waiting to drop on you, and you need to cross almost about, I think, about almost 700 to 900 meters across with a small 1 feet space that we have. And that was one of the scariest. And it was during the sunrise, and it was very scary. And crossing that 700 to 900 meters was tough. Yeah. So after bottleneck, we have this cross, which is really, really never happened on Everest. We don't get this on Everest. Yeah? And after that, going to the summit is all blue ice now. It's also something that we don't get on Everest. Blue ice is very scary, and one small mistake and you are down at least 2,000 meters down, and
Wow.
cross that part. Yeah, and the fixed rope fixing was fantastic this year. The teams did very well. And once the rope fixing is done, we all were just moving slowly towards summit. And everybody hit the summit on 22nd July. And it was a good teamwork among all the teams. And they put in so much effort to make sure that everybody reached the summit and we returned back safely. Except for the people who went 1 day earlier. Yes, our friends Afghanistan, he died, and his body is still there. We have to leave him there, and it's one small mistake, 1 day before us, and he died up there. So that's what can happen to any one of us. Our scheduling is very important. Our preparation is so necessary. We have to make sure at all time that our physical preparation and mental preparation is well attended to, and make sure we are ready to face that challenge. And K2, first time on K2, I can see the difference with Everest. It was like 3 times much more tougher. And the summit push from Camp 3 to the summit and coming back, I took almost 24 hours. So that's how difficult it was. But on Everest, we do between 14 to 16 hours. All right, from Camp 4 back to Camp 3. But this was really a tough, what do you call this, journey for me. And I will go back again. Yes, definitely. Of course, if I have some clients who want to do K2, definitely I will be there. All right, who know, it might be just your listeners, yeah, outside there,
Yeah.
right? And they might just want to carry a coffee with ones up there on the
Yeah.
summit of K2. Why
Yeah.
not?
That would be very fantastic to drink coffee at that minus. What are we looking at? Minus what? Minus 20, 30?
I would say minus 30, especially early morning. When we are doing after sunrise, it might drop to minus 25, minus 20. So with a jacket of minus 40, we feel very comfortable. Some days in the afternoon after 10:30, 11, sometimes we also sweat a lot. So we have
Right.
our ventilation, zippers to help us out, and so
Right.
on. So that's how the weather can change. But a small wind with 10, 20 kilometers per hour wind will change the whole thing. It can drop back to minus 30 to minus 40.
So
That's how,
instantly.
yes. So that's where the wind condition plays a big role in making sure. But so on K2, I would say 3 times much more difficult than what I've experienced on Everest.
Ravi, I mean, for the past 20, 30 minutes we are online, one thing I've noticed that there's so much of dangers there. But you see, a lot of preparations are made, and a lot of trainings that I've went through. You have to rehearsal it, and in your mind, and the kind of involved that you are with Mother Nature, I think is huge. I do love Mother Nature as well, but what you have went is to the extreme where not much of the population can just go there. But with, of course, with proper training that we talked about, we also know that now it's becoming very casual. Right? Everybody say, "Hey, I want to climb Everest," without proper training or proper Sherpa or proper leaders like yourself. What will happen if someone will just say, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to go Everest without any training," or Mount Everest base camp? What are the dangers involved? Because I can see that this huge amount of dangers happens during the dead zone, or even when you're trekking. If you're not fit, anything can go wrong, especially with your cardiovascular system. What is your take on this? Without proper training and people climbing up.
Well, people take risks. Yeah, the more strong-minded you are, you tend to be what do we call this? Well prepared to take challenges. So when you are taking challenges, someone who's not well prepared, well trained, so what will happen is that their challenge will increase. All right, others will be very relaxed because they are more prepared. But when you come not prepared, you will be facing challenges much more extreme compared to those people who are well prepared. But if you are strong mind, you can still face it. So that's why when you push someone to their limit, right? Some of them will succeed. Some of them will succeed. So it's a risk. So we do tell our climbers, our listeners, audiences, whenever we do briefing, whenever we do training, yes, it is a risk. But a well prepared person will enjoy the journey. Whereas the person who's not prepared, they will be suffering all the way. And this suffering, there is a limit. And along the journey, say people sign up, 1,000 people sign up to climb Everest. All right? There's only 300 people going to reach the summit. And what happens to the 700 people? The 700 people from base camp to camp 1 to camp 2 to camp 3 to camp 4, they will be giving up along the way because they just couldn't push cross their
Right.
limit. They reached their limit because of due to lack of preparation, poor preparation. Yeah, so if you are well prepared, you will find that your limit is way high, and you can take any challenges that comes towards you. But if you're not prepared well, then you'll find that your limit is at the base, and you'll find it difficult for you to push, even though you are strong mentally. But there are also limitations to your physical strength, right? Cardio strength, and so on. So you will find that it is a tough journey. You'll be suffering along the way of 60 days being at from the base camp to the summit of Everest and returning back, and you'll be cursing at your own self, for poor preparation and so on. But like I said just now, there are some strong people who have done it, right? And they will be coming back and telling people that, hey, I've done it. I just prepared for a year and I've done it. Yes, but did they enjoy the journey? Did they go through a process of, a lot of learning, a lot of suffering? That part, some people will hide it. All right, that is common for people. They always put in, bring in their ego in front, and they will always hide all those suffering. They just put in all the good pictures in front and show you, hey, the journey was fantastic, man. I've done it. That's it. But along the way, in that 60 days, a lot of suffering, a lot of learning, a lot of being humble. The mountain will make you humble. The mountain will make you, beg. The mountain will make you cry in your own tent. All these things some people don't share. Right?
Yeah.
The mountain will make you pee, shit in your suit, and so on. Not many people share this, but
Right.
these are. Yeah? So I would say if you really go through the 1,000 people and their story, especially the 700 people who have given up along the way, a lot of things to learn from this poor preparation.
Ravi, there seems kind of like an addiction, like what I said in the earlier of our podcast. You still want to go back again, and like as if like that is your first home, where Malaysia is a second home. You tend to spend most of your time in the with Mother Nature.
Mm.
But what is the thing that's going on your mind when you have reached Everest? What was exactly going in? Do you feel home? Do you feel
Well,
like, oh, I'm back home?
I think every summit, it's an inspiration. Every summit will take you to the next level. All right, so that's why all this while, about 7 years when I start talking and sharing to the people worldwide, I realize is that everybody must have a summit to challenge in their life. It can be a small crossing the road. It can be cycling all the way from one distance to another distance, improving it from time to time and so on. It's all about taking challenge. So Everest is also the same for me. Every time I reach the summit, it takes me to the next level. My confidence level will grow. My level in being humble is getting better and better. I find myself, being cool in many situations. I have seen worse situation on Everest, so I find the other situation is becoming a very,
Easy.
very relaxing. So every summit that I achieve, it makes me a better person. It takes me to my next level of ability to take challenges. That's the reason why I keep going back again. And I believe most of the people having the same characters in their life, that is every challenge that they take, if they succeed, and it's going to bring them to the next level. And you'll find that they are beautiful people. The more summit they do, the more beautiful they are. But there are some people that I've come across who bring in their ego into it, show
Right.
off, talk so loud, brag about their success and so on. But that's their right, not to look down upon them. Maybe that is their next level that they are heading. So we respect them, and we just wish them good luck and so on. But most generally, the people become beautiful people when they hit the summit. So I believe the same thing happened to you. In many many years. Right now, you are so cool about yourself. You are so confident about yourself because of all the success that you have hit. And
Thank you.
most of the time in my sharing, I talk about this. Right? Just go and get your small summit, and it will lead you to more bigger summits. Yeah.
Ravi, having this conversation is such a pleasure for me as well because what I have learned from you, I'm sure viewers as well, that Mother Nature teaches you when you climb her. I mean, when you visit her, right? Let's use the word visit her, and somehow or other she's teaching you perseverance, attitude, behavior, character building, humbleness. Even though we can be big, we are just tiny bit. So I think Mother Nature is the best teacher, right? I'm sure you are always connected with her whenever you go with your when you visit Mother Nature. I always seen your pictures and your inspirational videos and also your posts. Such great, amazing. We can learn so much with the nature itself. Going along that way, also we want to understand a little bit more on your inspirational and motivation because I can see that out of 10, there's so much of danger involved, but your preparation, your training, your mental rehearsal, your physical part, everything is being taken care. So you are prepared, and even you prepare your family also. What happens if, and you are going with such a full focus. But the most difficult moment in all your expeditions, Ravi.
Well, the first one was accepting the fact that we are leaving someone alive up in the mountain. That was very difficult. I couldn't accept, say for example, you're driving and you see someone facing an accident, in an accident and they are injured. What do you do? Most of the time, we will stop and we will attend to them, and we make sure that at least call the ambulance, get them the care that they need. But knowing that you are about to leave someone at 8,600 meters, that was very tough. The decision that you have to make, and you push to the summit and coming back and leaving someone behind, that was very, it took me a year, 2 years to understand. Climbers do this. Climbers have to go through this process, especially when we are solo climbers. But no one is going to send a rescue team to take us. No one is going to send a team of people, Sherpas, to come and look for us. It's a goodbye. So most of the time, people will just tap your shoulder and just leave you behind. So that year, 2006, was a difficult year for me to accept the fact. This it was one of the difficult moments until now. But when I went through the second expedition, year 2007, I meet up with all the other fellow professional climbers, and they make me understand that's what life is all about as a mountaineer. You know the risk that you're taking. We can't blame anyone, and if we something happened to us, a small wrong decision that we make. If we have to live there, we will be left there, and it'll take just 24 hours for us to die the following day. So that's how difficult it is. Yeah, and we have seen many stories, many cases of people being left behind. So these are all facts that we have to be prepared. And the second one was, for the fact of losing fingers when I was coming down from the summit. I could not hold on to the rope, and I was falling down again and again. And first time experiencing frostbite to fingers. Everybody were trying to say that hey, there's nothing that we can do except if you go back to your, to all those professional hospitals and so on. They can do this surgery, and some can rectify and so on. But in the mountains, we just accept the fact that we're going to lose our fingers. We just have to wait, see how much the distance that it can go, can improve, and then just break the other part of the fingers, remove them. Yeah? So doing that by yourself, removing your fingers after 4 months back in Malaysia was one of the other moment that was very difficult. The first one especially, but once you have done the first one, breaking and removing it, the other seven was cool. It was just cool because you already know, you already faced that first one.
Yeah.
First one was very scary. So that's another very difficult moment until now I won't forget, especially removing your first finger. Yeah. And third one was being buried on avalanche on Manaslu in year 2012, where we lost almost, I think, 13 at Camp 3. And I was at Camp 2 and I was buried, but I was rescued from the Sherpas from Camp 1 who rushed to come and support us at 4 a.m. in the morning. And that was a very difficult moment because every time you're being compacted by the snow and ice, every time you kick, trying to come out from that snow and ice, it start to compact more and more, and you start losing that oxygen in that at that time. So you start giving up. You start recalling moments that you're about to give up. This is the end of the day and all the stuff. So yeah, that was very scary, being in a hit by an avalanche. I will never forget that day. Year 2012 on Manaslu. That was a very difficult year. 5 days of total silence after coming down, after being rescued. You're only very happy and thankful that you are alive, that you're able to go back to your family and so on. That's what most of the climbers do when we are being hit by this kind of sudden avalanche of tragedies and so on. So I understand the situation, but these are these three worst moments in my life when it's dealing. I mean, when I'm dealing with the mountaineering. And every time I go up to 8,000 meter, I pray. Um, I always hope that I don't come across this kind of moments again. But if it happens, yes, I'm prepared. But I never want that moment again to feel so small, to feel helpless, you know, and going towards thinking that you're about to die. And those Sherpas who came to rescue me from Camp 1, I will never forget them. Still remember their faces, people digging me out, both, rubbing my legs, my hand, changing my clothes, giving me their jacket, giving me sleeping bag to put me in a sleeping bag, preparing hot water for me to drink. That I will never forget that moment. Difficult moment, but you can see that human touch. You can see those people fighting and helping you, keeping you alive. That was one of my, I would say, difficult moment, but best moment looking at human touch. Right, so that's inspiring. Those Sherpas, Makalu Sherpas, and they are fantastic Sherpas. I'll never forget them. Yeah.
Thank you,
So
Ravi, for that inspiration part where you actually share with us, of course, your deepest moments and almost date situations that you have reached. But of course, Ravi, we talked about it, your love for your passion for be with Mother Nature and being with the Mount Everest three times. You're the first Malaysian to reach the summit of Mount K2. Um, we are trying to not say we are trying, but what is see what is happening inside your psychology, right? You seems to be like prepared. There's tons of dangers are there. Rock can climb it. I mean, rock can just fall over you, or the ice can just bury you. So many things, but then you still keep on going in. And if that kind of very positive vibes and the way you present yourself in most of your lectures or your trainings and videos, but what really inspires you?
I believe is the dream. Everybody have a dream about reaching the next target in their life. I have a dream that is to complete all 14 peaks, and being there, reaching all the summit of all the other mountains in the world. It's exciting because every peak that you hit and you summit inspires you actually. All right, so the mountains are the one that really inspires me, and looking at the people working together, pushing their limit, that's also really inspiring. And when you don't go for 1 year, when especially on this during this PKP COVID time, that was very difficult moment for us because there's nothing for to look forward to. It's very quiet moment in our life. It was very difficult. International travel were all blocked, and even traveling to Sabah Sarawak, it was blocked. So there was nothing for us to look forward to besides staying at home and doing online stuffs and so on. And every mountains that after this PKP that I hit, I want to hit, I believe that it will inspire me for what I've done in year 2022. After once government uplift the travel ban and so on,
Right.
really inspiring. We are so motivated. I believe all the climbers around the world are now so motivated in going for their next challenge. So these mountains are actually really inspiring. Beside that are the people that I see along the trail where they are also excited, and that this excitement that the people are showing are really inspiring everyone. So I bring people now, and they also inspire me. I just came back from Island Peak, bringing one gentleman and a lady from Borneo to the summit of Island Peak, and they are all now well prepared to go for their next Everest climb. And every time I look at their face and their excitement of looking at Everest next year, 2023 Everest, it's inspiring me. So everyone outside there, whenever you go outside there and take a new challenge and you achieve it, it will inspire another 10 more people outside there. So that's what this is all about. And I'm hoping the same. If I can achieve a peak, and I'm hoping that it will inspire another 10 more people next to me. So that's what this is all about, inspiring our own self and inspiring others, along the same dream that we are going for. Yeah? So
Truly,
that's
you're
what.
believing and you're inspiring, and you also keep on going back. It seems like your first home is in Everest. But we also know that you're bringing now clients and preparing them. I know you also have training plans. I was looking through. Quite interesting that you don't actually people signing up for your trips, but you also prepare them mentally and physically. Your training plans, so and so forth, your itinerary. I was looking at very interesting. I got to say that because that's a lot of planning that you need to put in. But in the past, like you mentioned the couple that you bring at them, how's the experience or the guiding, with so much of wealth of knowledge that you have, and then you're guiding them up to where they want to be.
Well, now right now we have moved to the next level. That is, beside climbing, we are also guiding, helping others to achieve their goal or their dreams. And every time we achieve a success, it's also inspiring us and also inspiring the people. When you look at their face of reaching the summit, the glory on their face, the excitement when they come back, they share with their family members and their friends and so on. You can see, read in their social media. It is nice to be part of other people's dream. And this year we had two clients on Everest, and then we're preparing now two more people for Everest 2023. So we hope that this will inspire many more people in the years to come. And we have program for 2024 already. We also have a program for a state, which is that's Negeri Sembilan, to send 5 people to summit Everest in the year 2025. Now, these programs are all due to the fact that people are excited about climbing Everest. And every excitement that we support and we bring them and they hit their dream, right? It is inspiring another 10 more people. And that's what we want. That's what we are hoping to continue. So, but believe me, uh, it is the next level in our career as a mountaineer. And right now, when we climb Everest, we're very relaxed. So we can put in another 50% into guiding. But the first one and the second one was not there because we ourselves were struggling, we ourselves facing big challenges. But now we are very relaxed because we've been there, and we are more relaxed because we have crossed this kind of difficulties before. So 50% of our effort is towards our client. So um, taking them from one level to the next level, each camp is something new. You see the changes in them, you see the suffering in them, you see the what do you call this? Their failure. All these things help us to be better guide, to be better in helping others to reach the summit of Mount Everest. So I hope next year I will be better guide, and I will be able to support the next batch of people and make sure that they reach the summit of Everest very easy, very smooth, and low risk. So that's what we do now. So part of the preparation is actually at home here in Malaysia, preparing them with cardio training, preparing them strength training, where most of the gyms and their instructors and gym operators are supporting us, and also trainers. Then we have the what do you call this mental preparation, that we take them to the big mountains, the other mountains around the world. So we have a program, the Seven Summit program. We also have programs in other peaks and so on, where we prepare. Like now, in the month of February, we will be heading, the team will be going to Aconcagua, which is 6-9. So these are all peaks that we prepare people. In August, we also hit Mount Elbrus, then we will hit Kilimanjaro to prepare people dealing with different altitude and also different terrain or different types of mountain. Then we also have the volcanic in Indonesia, all right, which is only 3738, but it's a good training for people. So we have various training in a year, almost 12 months. We guide people, we take people to face all these challenges and to prepare them to go for Everest. So now we can prepare Everest in just 1 year, even 2 years, even 3 years. So all depending on the schedule. And now we can safely say that we can also prepare people to climb Everest in 6 months. If someone who's fully retired, if they have the time, 6 months to prepare, and we can get them ready. It's all
Right.
constant training with the support from, of course, gym, what do you call physical fitness trainers, and what do you call this mental coach. We are able to assist them less than 6 months by getting them ready. And back to your question, earlier question, saying that can they do it in that 6 months? Yes, with a good concentrated training, they are able to do it. But of course, we have to prepare them mentally. Now, this is where we need to send them places. They need to go to places to see the challenges. All right. So that's what we do now, and we have such program, many programs for people to join, to participate. And if anyone outside there, your fans, please, we are more than happy to support them. Right.
Thank you, Ravi. For viewers who are watching this, I mean, if you have already started to feel, to be connected with Mother Nature, this is Ravi's contact. You can look for him at the Facebook at Ravichandran Everest. He has that, and even for your Instagram as well, Ravi. What is your Instagram page,
Ravi,
Ravi?
Ravi, Ravi Everest.
Ravi Everest. You can look for him there. And his contacts is here, so you can actually look up or his itinerary and the plans for the next coming year. But Ravi, I'm actually trying, or the viewers is trying. You went through almost a dead situation, buried by ice. You lost your 8 fingers, and you're still climbing, and you're still bringing people out there with a lot of preparation, and every time, with the humbleness, of course. There's a huge thing that is happening around you, in terms of motivational or in terms of inspiration. Where do you get all these from? Because if someone who have lost a finger, probably you will never, probably will never even want to think about it. But it seems like you still want to go, right? There must be a strong kind of energy, or the kind of way you prepare yourself. So where do you get your motivational and inspiration from?
Well, I would say the first thing is the family background. Um, they are, what do you call this? Ever sharing positive energy, all right? Positive environment, and never talk about the fear that they face. We don't talk about those negative things at home. We always keep the positive things and so on. And also at the workplace, the same thing, very positive. Now we do have negative people will come from time to time. Now these negative people, of course, will share the negative energy. This is where we also isolate ourselves from the people who are very negative. Um, we will come across this every now and then. So as long as you are able to manage this, you will see that you are surrounded by all those positive people, and the positive people are all inspiring people. All right, so I've been very lucky, a lovely wife, kid, and they've been there supporting me in all my expedition. In fact, my expedition, they are the one who do my packing of my equipment and so on. So there's a family touch there, and 2 3 days before any big expedition, they know I won't be able to sleep. I'll be busy sorting out equipment, and they'll be there to help me out and so on. So the family plays a big role in inspiring us to go to the next level, and they've been there supporting me all the way, and also the friends part, yes, very nice people, very helpful when I call them for training. Come, let's go for training. They are always there supporting me and so on. All right, there's also another group of people who have been inspiring me to do it. Yeah. So, and then the third one is the people that we help in guiding, in inspiring them. Now, when they achieve their dream, that's also very inspiring for us. All right, that also has been helping me in keeping my inspiration level always at at the top, and taking always thinking about the new challenge that I'm going to cross. And of course, the others have done wonderful achievement outside there. The other mountaineers around the world, they have hit many beautiful achievements, and that is also very inspiring. If others can do it, why not us? So that's also another form of inspiration for me. And every time someone have done marvelous things outside there, we should appreciate, because it will going to inspire you, not just you but also so many others around the world will be also inspired with their achievement. So that's also another group of people that has been inspiring me. And plus minus, the whole thing is a beautiful package, and that package has been inspiring me actually. So I hope to continue. I hope I will maintain this beautiful package of people who are inspiring me, and listening to their stories, sharing with them moments, bringing them, guiding them to the peaks. Can be small peak, Gasing Hill, or big peak like Kinabalu, or Everest Base Camp, Island Peak, and so on. But every time I look at their face, it's an inspiration for me. When you drag them to the summit, of course, they will be cursing you, they will be shouting at you, they will be talking, you push me, you do this and that. But when you look at their face on the summit, it's totally different. All right. And I believe some of them will cry, hug, share their what do you call appreciation. Some don't, some will hide, but they are inspiration. Every small success that we achieve in our challenge your dream, challenge your summit, it's actually inspiring me. So if I can touch people with my program, challenge your summit, every now and then, speech, taking people to the mountains and so on, that is a big inspiration for me. And they are the one who actually inspiring me beside my family. So I hope people outside there come and join my programs. Be inspired. Allow me to inspire you to reach your summit, but at the same time, you are playing a big role in my dreams of finishing my 14 peaks of all 8,000 meter in the world. Yeah.
I'm sure all of the viewers right now in Singapore who are watching this, you can actually listen to the podcasts and Spotify as well. If you do get interest, you know how to get in contact with Ravi or people who are listening from our neighbors from Malaysia as well. Of course, Ravi has climbed. He never used the word conquered. I don't know why. Such a humble guy. He have climbed the Everest 3 times and the first Malaysian to summit Mount K2. We are talking about all his about his inspirations, and how he's it just literally is doing it. It just feel like connected with the Mother Nature. We are actually coming to the last part of this segment, but before that, we have one more to ask Ravi. What is your advice to our youth? What they can learn from climbing the mountains?
Well, the mountains are a place where not just sometimes setbacks happens, bad things happen, bad experiences happen, but it's also a place where Mother Nature will keep inspiring people. So the mountains, big, small, dangerous, easy, it is all about a journey, someone taking up the journey. And every journey will develop us physically, mentally, also emotionally, will make us very humble people, very nice people, become very kind and so on. So it's a place where it develops human. All right. So that's why I always tell the youth, you need to go there. You need to feel what I felt. All right. Once you go there, you see. Just take a small challenge, just a small mountain next to your place. All right. And you can see that it will develop you into someone beautiful and a better person. And where others, especially your family, will enjoy you, enjoy the new person that you are becoming. So that's what development is all about, from the mountains, helping us to become better person, and that is beautiful. And every youth outside there, if you have the chance, go and hike, go and climb, achieve something great in your life, because every greatness that you achieve is going to inspire you to become a very much more greater person. And that's what this is all about. So youth outside there, don't waste your time. I know there's so many things outside there. Just reserve some time, hit the mountains and take up these kind of challenges, and you will find yourself um, to be very interesting, and your family will also enjoy your company, your friends also will enjoy your company, and everybody will be, I tell you, I mean, in a very beautiful, humble character, and that will actually will be exciting. And I've seen bad characters also in the mountains, but very minimal. But I've seen very beautiful people with good characters up in the mountains, and I hope our youth will never stop, will continue with their taking this challenging their summit, and start hitting the mountains. And for Singaporeans and also Malaysians in Johor, I'm coming to Lamba soon, Gunung Lamba. And if you have the chance to join me, it's on Saturday. It will be an honor to meet you all there. Have a small climb, hike to Gunung Lamba, which is about 2 hours up and down. And then we can just go for tea, coffee. It will be very exciting to meet you all, to meet the fans in Singapore, to be able to inspire our youth. It's just, I think it's about 1.5 drive, or 1 hour, 15 minutes drive from the border. All right. See you all there in Lamba. It'll be exciting in 3 weeks' time. Contact me if you are keen to join us. And there will be some Singaporeans coming because they are preparing to join me for my Kinabalu, which is from 24th to 27th of February. So part of their training is we will be doing in Lamba, and we will get them ready to climb Mount Kinabalu with me in the month of February. So it's an exciting full season next year, and everything starts from Mount Kinabalu. All right. So join me at Gunung Lamba. Once I check your volume.
Yeah, sorry. It was great inspiration that you have given today, personal experience. And we have learned a lot of stuff from you, from entering into the dead zone, leaving people behind and seeing people and the way you prepare. And also can see from your character how humble you are, especially when you keep on climbing and, it teaches you something. And it's such a great honor to be with you at Kopi with Vans. Is that a coffee you're drinking?
No.
No. Okay. Then,
Okay.
then we need to meet up soon for coffee. Kopi.
Yeah, sure,
Need
sure,
to drink
definitely.
coffee, Malaysian coffee. Thank you, Ravi. Before I know you have already talked and given your advice to the youth, but any last words for people to take back?
Well, challenge your summit. Set your summit. It can be anything that you are looking forward to in your life. Set the challenge. Go for the challenge, and try to hit the summit, because it is at your own pace. You don't have to worry about others. Others can go fast. Others can leave you behind. But as long as you reach the end line, you hit your summit. So it's about your own pace, setting your own goal, and you reaching your own goal. So it's nothing to do with others. So go for it. I hope to see more people inspired by this concept of challenge or summit. And all the best. If ever there's a need of some inspiration word from time to time, please look up for me at Ravichandran Everest Facebook page or Instagram Ravi Everest. I'll do my best to share. Right?
Thank you, Ravi. Definitely, we will get in touch and probably a real coffee, a kopi,
Yeah.
back in Malaysia, which I love to come. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, and a pleasant evening. We'll catch you soon. Thank you,
Right.
sir. Bye. All right, so that's Ravichandran Everest. Such an inspirational. I mean, I'm not sure about our viewers. I'm sure you have learned something, and I learned something. It's about building your character. Today's topic is all about challenge or summit. Everest is not a easy thing. It's like walking in the park, which involves a lot of training. And Ravi has said, some takes 1 year, some take 2 years. Some are now even he's preparing people for 6 months with lots of preparations, not just physically but mentally, emotionally. All this combination comes in. And I was looking at his itinerary plan, and very interesting to see, how much of safety aspects he puts in, and also the planning for his trip, and is constantly climbing mountains to inspire him, not himself but a lot of people. He regularly gives talks, so if you look it up in Facebook, Ravichandran Everest, and you can also look him up at Instagram page, where you'll see lots of inspirational postings, especially what he does when he go for these climbs. He's sharing his true moments. Very interesting, which I think we all know. Climbing Everest is not a easy thing. A lot of things can happen, especially if you are in the 26,000 feet, where your oxygen pressure level just is not sufficient to sustain any life. And that's why uh, Ravi himself, said, they carry oxygen tanks to go up, and there's so much things to learn about, even though there's so much of danger. But a lot of preparations and a lot of anticipations are there. That actually builds your own character. You break your own limits to explore where you can go, where you can move, not just living within the shells. But of course, having said that, doesn't mean that you start climbing within the next 1 month or 2 months. But with, of course, with full preparation, Ravi will be the best person to look up for if you have any questions pertaining to climbing the mountains. This is Vance from Kopi with Vans. I'll catch you soon next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Till then, adios, amigos.